What's up YouTube? Gobo FX here with another one. Now today we're going to talk about acquiring a prop farm. What are the benefits of having or buying a prop farm? One benefit of buying a prop farm is you can be able to scale up money so that you will have that chance to trade with a bigger capital on your personal account. Also, when you're funded, you will have that opportunity to trade with a bigger amount of money. Of course, the higher or a big amount of money, the low the risk and the more you can make. So as a trader, you are supposed to always think how you're gonna have that big amount of money so that you will be exposing a small amount of money and making big amount of money. Do you understand? So prop farm is one way you can go to having that if you have the skill. All right, if you have the skill, you can be able to have that money. You can be able to trade those challenges. So when you pass, you get funded and then you get paid. So first of all, the challenge phase, you need to have the skill, right? You need to have a working system. You need to have a working system, all right? In short, you need to have a good strategy so that you pass these phases. Once you pass the challenges and maybe phase 1 and phase 2, or if you go for instant funding, I'm not advertising any prop farm. So any prop farm you feel you want to go with, you can just go do research on yourself, thorough research, see what the challenges. They are called challenges because they have those restrictions and rules that you need to follow, and when you follow them, you get funded. And in short, they're just trying to see whether this person have the right skill. So you can also use prop farm to know whether the skill you think you have, whether you really have it. Do you understand? So if you get to the prop farm and you pass, you get to the funding part, you get paid, right? Now that money, for example, if you have a 50k account, you aim for, like, let's say 10% of that. Once you are funded, that's something like 5k, right? 5k, they give you like 80%, they take 10% for the start. Of course, any prop farm, the one I use, they scale up to 95%. You understand? So if you have, and buying that 50k, you will take you like $300. Do you understand? And if you have that skill to pass these challenges, you can be able to do what? To get funded and get paid big money. Look at that risk to reward. You are risking 300, but at the end you can make 5k. I mean in dollars. That's something like $500,000 shaving. Alright? So it's a good thing, and also very, very good thing, because if you really call yourself a trader, right? And you can be able to prove that by passing these challenges. The first, before you get paid, before you get funded, then go for prop farm, and you can be able to scale up your money. And when you get money from prop farm, put that money in personal account, also one from personal account, and now you have a good amount. If you get, let's say, even 3 withdrawals, 4 withdrawals, that's 20k. 20k, risk only 1% of that. You know, that's 20k, 1% is 2,000. Maybe go for 1:2. You are making 4,000 a month. No, in one trade, in your personal account. But where did you get that money from? From prop farm. That is if you don't have that big capital. Let's stop risking small that you are depositing $300. You want to flip that. You will lose that money definitely, but look at the bigger picture. Okay, look at the bigger picture. The bigger picture is, if you are able, if you really calling yourself a trader, you can be able to pass this thesis. Stop wasting money in brokers. Stop depositing money to to broker, because every time you deposit 200, chances are you blow that money, but 200 can get you a 25k account. Do you understand? Yeah, that's it. So let's it's a good way getting a prop firm. Okay, it's a very good way and can help you to scale up and become a bigger trader. You know, we want money. Now, for example, let's say you buy a 5k, the cheapest one, the smallest account, the smallest like account, and the cheapest one. You know, right now I'm not advertising any prop firm, so I'm not gonna mention any prop firm. But let's say you go like for a $32 account. Are we together? You use $32 to buy like a 5k account, the smallest one you can buy. Now you see, the only money you have used is that $2, and it's giving you access to a 5k account. Are you together? But now let me ask you a question. Can you trade? You know, you can't like trade with that $2 and expect to make a fortune, and you want to make money, you know. So with that $2, you won't make. Actually, you will blow that money. But that $2, if you think it on with a bigger picture, and if you are depositing that money, that means you have gone through forex basics. You understand forex, you know. If you are depositing, then it means you understand forex. So why don't you look at it with a bigger picture and go for that 5k account, right? And that 5k account, you are given, like, for example, you are told like you have a maximum daily loss. You are told, for example, let's say you are told is something like 10%. 10% of 5k is 10% of 5k is 50. It's $500. Okay, it's $500. No, that, let's say maximum loss. Okay, like the maximum loss limit, the whole of it, you are being told is 10%. So that's $500. That means if you lose $500 in that account, yeah, if you lose $500 in that account, you have breached that account. So using $500, using that $2 that you have, you can be able to use $500 to get a payout of even the same $500, which is 10% of what you're gonna target once you are funded. That's what I like targeting. Are you together? So, like, Propfirm help you to have that access of what? Of a big capital that will help you make more money. Of course, there are those restrictions in there, there are those rules, but if you abide to those rules, if you follow those rules, if you have that system, that strategy, you know what you are doing, so easy. You can be able to pull very big withdrawals. Now let's say you get a payout of, from that 5k, you get 10%, which is, now you are funded, now you are getting paid, which now you withdraw like $500. Okay, using $500, you can be able to scale up and now get a 10k or a 20k account. The same thing, you are being told the maximum loss limit is 10%. Let's say you get 20k, maximum loss is 10%, so that's 2,000, right? So you have already been given 2,000 to work with, leave alone the whole account 20k. No, don't take it like that. If you are given the maximum loss limit is what you have been given, work with that. It's 2,000, well and good. 2,000, you can be able to do what? To trade with it. And you bought this 20k with something like 140, something like 140, 150, which is 20,000 Kenyan shillings. Alright? But if you deposit that 20,000 Kenyan shillings, that it won't take you anywhere. That's $150. You can't even flip it thrice. You will fuck it up. Do you understand? So the best thing to do is you have that 2,000. You buy that. You saying $150, you buy a 20K. At 20K, you are given a maximum loss limit of 10%. For example, that's 2,000. Now you have 2,000 to pull a withdrawal. If now you work with the other rules that you have been given, for example, daily loss, what is trading news or not trading news, what else do they say? The most important one to note is the daily loss limit and the maximum loss limit. Once you put them in your mind, then you can be able to to work with them, then you are good to go, and you have a good system. You are good to go. Most traders struggle with capital. Okay, that's an issue. But they also struggle like they want to flip $50. Yet this $50 can expose them to big money, big capital compared to their $50. Do you understand? You will lose $50 very easily, very quick. But with the account, and you have the system, you have the strategy, you know what you are doing, you can be able to make a lot more money. You just need to be patient and consistently taking trades using the system. You are seeing it's working. All right, that's all. If you are a trader, if you are really a trader and you have started getting to trading, yeah, I don't think you're supposed to be trading with less than $5,000 personal account. And if you don't have that, even 5,000 is very small to help you. You know, we are trying to look for monthly income, for income. Okay, you're trying to employ yourself. All right. So with that, Propfirm can be a very, very good way if you have the skill. Rather than depositing your small money, you will definitely blow that money altogether. So yeah, stay in the channel. If you want me to go deep into how you take trades, how you risk, because risk management is also part of it. If you want me to explain my strategy, things like those, if you want me to go deep into trading, into it, comment down below. All right, share this video, and yeah, see you in the next one. Peace.